Well, it's a very special day because we have today returning to the program Mike Lindell, CEO and inventor of My Pillow.
What? What? What would you like me to say, David? I'm not a lawyer. The lawyers are lawyers. What's so hard to understand? They can pull these names. It's just like every state. Every state has people that voted that don't live in the state.
Hold on, Mike.
Hold it, David. You're doing the population of Wisconsin. I have a moral compass. 2 million, you can get them. I got requests out to every single. These are right off the voter rolls. David, you're not listening. David, you're not listening. It doesn't matter who won or lost. This stuff just happened. And I'm talking about getting rid of the machines. Mike Lindell wants to get rid of the machine. Get rid of my espresso machine. The voting machine, David. Everything that can be hacked. You got, credit cards, companies get hacked. Businesses hacked. Gas companies hacked. Who did this attack? Who did this cyber attack? That's all I'm about. We can't have computers running our elections.
Mike, you've mentioned so much. Let me just make one comment here.
Nope. Melt them down and turn them into prison bars. When you have a computer, you can change one number, you can do anything. You hack in and you can affect millions. Where if you had to do the same thing with paper, you would have to have a whole cabal of people. You asked me the dumb question about getting rid of machines. If you want to be a humorous interview, get rid of my espresso machine. Give me a break. What? I'm not a lawyer. The lawyers are lawyers. I'm not a lawyer. The lawyers are lawyers. You should have one of my pillows too.
We are going to take a moment to recover here from the extremely high level of energy.
I could talk to you all day about this.
If there is anything that needs to be satirized and remixed, it is Trump talking about massive dumps. And by the way, extra points, if you can sample Trump saying massive dumps and me talking about it in a song, please do it.
Dumps. Big massive dumps. Dumps. Big massive dumps. Dump, big massive dumps. Sure you just dump, big massive dumps.
Donald Trump insisted multiple times that it was massive dumps that led him to lose the election, which is just
on another level. On another level.
Dumps. Sure you just dump, big massive dumps. Sure you just dump, big massive dump.
You turn the faucet on in areas where there's tremendous amounts of water, where the water rushes out to sea, because you could have people are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times, as opposed to once.
Dumps. Sure you just dump, big massive dumps.
what is going on here? What is going on here? It's just beyond parody. I mean, massive dumps cost them the election. What is going on here? What is going on here? It's just beyond parody. I mean, massive dumps cost them the election. What is going on here?
Dumps.
Trump was doing this with his personal toilet.
But sinks, toilets, and showers.
Elements in bathrooms.
10 times, 15 times.
Elements in bathrooms.
We're looking very strongly at sinks and of bathrooms. 10 times, 15 times. Elements of bathrooms.
What on earth is going on with Trump and toilets? Trump's White House toilet would be clogged with documents that Donald Trump was flushing down the toilet. Is this the explanation? Is this the explanation?
Big massive dumps.
Elements of bathrooms.
Uh-oh. Mangoes?
My bag of mangoes.
Uh-oh. I love mangoes too.
99 cents. Okay. Now that we are up under a Biden's regime, my bag of mangoes now costs $11.99.
That seems like a pretty good deal. A bag of mangoes. Aren't mangoes like $3 each? That's it. I want what, $8 or $11. That sounds good.
The American people will lie. And highway robbery is what you're doing. Bring my mangoes back down. My bag of mangoes. My bag of mangoes.
Mangoes?
My bag of mangoes. Bring my mangoes back down. Raise the price of food. Don't raise the price of food. Don't raise the price of food. Bring my mangoes back down.
The Wisconsin crowd identified with the mango eater.
Unfortunately affected the American people. Those who want me to be healthy. Those who want me to be healthy. And highway robbery is what you're doing. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of
Mangoes? Well, what an introduction as we continue to mourn and grieve the death of Alethea. I actually forget their name. Diamond, known as Diamond to many of us. We continue to, of course, grieve the tragic passing due to unknown causes officially, but we suspect COVID. Thank you for joining me today. There is so much to talk about. We're going to be doing sort of like a clean out the computer type of stream where we have so many things to go over. The Steven Crowder fiasco, the YouTube death spiral fiasco, Ben Shapiro getting heckled, and then someone in the audience goes to defend Shapiro, and everybody seems extraordinarily satisfied and pleased with themselves. Now, I do want to mention, I am already aware, many of you writing to me, saying, David, the YouTube didn't even tell me you were live in my algorithm, or polyrhythm, whichever you prefer. And I'm aware, folks. I'm aware, and we're going to talk about everything going on with YouTube. And so many important and different things are going on. So welcome. It's great to see everybody. Unfortunately, and this is one of the risks when you promote appearances ahead of time, and I hate that this is going on. I hate I have to do this. Lex Friedman canceled on me. And it was not done in the most professional way. I don't want to go into details or air dirty laundry, but I was scheduled to be on with Lex Friedman Thursday. And it was a last minute cancellation. I don't want to go into the details. It just doesn't seem professional. But needless to say, I do now need to come to all of you and tell you it didn't happen. It didn't happen. That being said, next week, I'm going to two different places. I'm going to Florida and I'm going to Florida. In each place, I will be doing an interview. I will be on with Patrick Bet-David. I will be on with Anthony Pompliano. I will be at the beach. I will be off the beach. It's going to be completely crazy. So hopefully that'll all still go down. And listen, you know what? If it gets canceled, it gets canceled. And then I'll come here and I'll eat my hat. And it will be what it is. Okay? Let's start with some content. I do want to look at this super chat. Chakaseki says, David, did you see the Tater Tots march on behalf of their Lord Andrew Tate in Greece? We could even start with the Andrew Tate stuff if people want. Let me see, so here's the news on Tate. First of all, Tate is not, wait, oh no, this article. BBC reports Andrew Tate, Romania court extends police detention for influencer and brother. Yeah, so Andrew Tate's in jail. Influencer Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan will stay in custody until the 27th of February after a Romanian court extended police detention. They've been in jail since late December as they are under investigation for rape and exploitation. They deny the allegations. Authorities say they exploited women by forcing them to create pornographic content. They have not yet been charged and so have not yet had the chance to plead guilty or not guilty. I don't know what this does to the manosphere and whether this gives them cred or makes them look worse. The standards of the manosphere are so perverted and backwards that maybe this helps them or maybe this hurts them. I quite genuinely couldn't tell you. The former kickboxer has millions of online followers despite being banned from TikToks, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube's for misogyny. His Twitter account was reactivated in November, and it is active despite his detention. Tate moved to Bucharest 5 years ago and was arrested when his house was raided. A lawyer for the Tate brothers argued prosecutors had not presented any new evidence in their application to extend detention. The reasons for the extension will be given later. So that's going on. And meanwhile, Tate is not pleased with the conditions of his detention. He claims his prison cell has been bugged. He is complaining that it is squalid, dark, and infested with cockroaches and lice. The imprisoned ex-kickboxer aired his complaints in an email to fans. He says, my first email from imprisonment, they are trying to break me, thrown inside a cell without light. Cockroaches, lice, and bedbugs are my only friends at night, lamented the 36-year-old Tate. Geez, doesn't sound good. When the guards bring me to and from the courtroom, I stay respectful. Tate and his brother were arrested. The raid yielded stacks of money, designer watches, and even weapons. So anyway, it doesn't sound like it's going that well, but you know, one of the funny things is like, he talked about how I saw a bit of an interview where Tate seemed to be saying that like with money in Romania, you kind of get whatever you want. You have the police under your thumb and all these different things. I wouldn't expect jail conditions to be good in that type of place. If it's the type of place where I think he said like that with $10 US, you can, I don't even know what it is you can do with police. If for $10 you can get favorable police treatment, I wouldn't assume the jails will be nice. I don't know if other people agree on that, but in the types of places where $10 gets you far with police, I assume it will be squalid. There will be at minimum cockroaches for sure. For sure. So needless to say, trouble in paradise, I guess, for Andrew Tate and his brother. Okay, so that is all very much going on. Thanks to everybody subscribing via Twitch. I really do appreciate that, including TR Napsta and Beast Mode and everybody. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 people. I have so much going on here. Thanks to those 9 people. I appreciate that. Over on YouTube, thanks to Joshua Kratchman, as well as Elijah Parfit and Curtis Davis for signing up on my website. Puts us at 12. People asking about phones. Yeah, I'll open phones if we get to 100. Absolutely glad to do that. And it looks like we just did. S-Prez has just dumped in 100 memberships, putting us at 112. So I will open phones momentarily, and let's go for 2. Let's get to some other clips here. Here is Ben Shapiro. The Young America Foundation describes this event, this incident, as woke protesters trying to shout down Ben Shapiro. I do want to mention, Andrew says, David, sir, I'm traveling to Miami in February. I believe you've been. Any breakfast or dinner recommendations? Much appreciated. Absolutely. In Miami, Aegean Mediterranean Bistro is a beautiful choice. Romantic setting. If you like screaming and babies crying, I can't recommend it more highly. No, in all seriousness, Aegean Mediterranean, excellent spot. Brunch at the Standard Restaurant, I think it's called. It's a hotel and restaurant in one of those man-made islands in the intercoastal or the bay, whatever it's called there. Highly recommend that. Silvano's in Miami Beach is a great spot, although I believe that it's been closed due to a fire, or fire, as people from upstate New York might pronounce it. Fire is the way I say it. That's a great spot if it's reopened. The Sandwichery in Miami Beach is great. Shepherd is a nice breakfast spot in Miami Beach. So many spots. I'll actually be in Miami next week. And it should be a good time. Kratos Orion says, do you think anime by itself negatively influences society? Couldn't tell you. I've only ever seen Spirited Away and nothing else. I have not read any manga or manga, and I have not seen any other anime or anime other than that. So I really couldn't tell you much about it. All right, let's get into the Ben Shapiro clip. Here we go, by popular demand.
So, social justice is an oxymoron. Okay, if a guilty man is acquitted because he's the right race, that is anti-justice. If an innocent man is convicted because he's the wrong race, that's anti-justice. Social justice, however, suggests that your group identity, your identity as a person, relieves you of individual responsibility to be a decent human being.
Imagine wanting to know things and exist in the world as a knowledgeable person, and then you're like, I'm going to go to this lecture series, and I'm going to learn. Gee, dear God.
So you get to interrupt lectures if you're the right race or if you're the right gender or the right sexual orientation. You get to do these things without punishment because, after all, that's in the nature of social justice, group justice. We don't hold you responsible for your individual actions. You get extra points in heaven.
By the way, you know how they love to say on the right that it's funny, people in the chat going, what the hell is he talking about? I don't know either, like as if I know. But I know that he has grievances. He's airing grievances. It wasn't Festivus on this day, but he was participating in the airing of grievances. These people love to say that the left is all about grievances. All I hear from them is self-victimization and grievances.
Because you were born with a certain skin color or sexual orientation.
Okay. Wow. Compelling stuff, folks.
Today, all you hardcore leftists call yourselves social justice warriors, and you do this because you believe that individual justice is racist and sexist and bigoted and homophobic. Individual justice suggests that we each be held responsible for our actions, but SJWs think that's unfair because we're not just individuals, of course, we're members of groups. What if the groups are disproportionately poor? What if they're disproportionately in jail? How can we achieve group justice if individual justice keeps getting in the way?
Right.
If it turns out that certain groups have more members in jail disproportionately,
It's funny because Ben has a reputation for being just having this incredible clarity when he speaks, where, you know, it's impossible to misunderstand or not understand what he's saying. This is nonsense. This is a word salad.
Be because something deeply wrong has happened, something the system is rigged against that group. It can't be because a lot of individuals within that particular group have committed crimes. Now,
Right.
the problem with this logic is it sounds sort of bad. If you think of people only in terms of their racial or ethnic groups or their sexual orientation, that's sort of racist. It's sort of homophobic. It's actually sort of discriminatory. You're not any better a person for being black or gay or Jewish. Race doesn't mean anything. Social group is only important if the social group is propagating good things.
Yeah.
You just arbitrarily group people about skin color, that's just called tribalism. Racial diversity doesn't actually mean anything.
I want to get to the part where the based lady fires back, but I don't know where that is. Man, it is troubling that so many young people are wasting their time at an event like this.
That's okay.
I have made turkeys for every race, creed, and color to stand in line tomorrow and get their Thanksgiving meal. Shut the frick up and listen to the man.
Whoa, based lady. Wow, she's firing back. Standing ovation for based lady. Oh, and look, Shapiro's clapping. Look at this. This is the epitome of virtue signaling tribalism. It's no longer really ironic because the values of these people are actually the opposite of what they claim, and it's been that way for a long time. But it's everything about this is virtue. It's the very virtue signaling that these people criticize the left for.
See, that's what a decent, hardworking person sounds like, as opposed to a loser student here on the public dime, presumably. This is a public university. Everybody here is presumably on the public dime. Okay, so
yeah, just criticize the entire crowd. Perfect. That beautifully done. This stuff is great. I mean, you learn nothing from this other than, I guess, that these people are hypocrites, you know. Big thank you to Office Drummer, who just resubscribed on Twitch. Office Drummer, top-notch streamer. You can find Office Drummer drumming on TikToks, YouTubes, and Twitch all over the place. Very, very exciting to see you, as well as the Shoplifting Empath and Joe Sauce, which puts us at 115 members. We will open phone lines, folks. We are opening phone lines because we did get to 100 new members. All right, let's go to some Candace Owens drivel and insanity. She is now targeting Greta Thunberg and says that Greta Thunberg is in need of an exorcism. I guess she assumes or believes exorcism is real. I don't know. Let's... Oh, and we have a super chat. Owners of means of production. Socialism is better than people. Communism is better than state. Capitalism is better than corporations. I've been learning. Did I get it right? Ex-Trollman. Man, I don't know what Juan is talking about. Let's continue with Candace Owens.
In case you haven't seen this, it is going viral because it's incredible. It shouldn't shock you. Greta Thunberg, obviously, I've discussed her many times on this show. She's something about her is incredibly dark. I can't quite pick up on it, but she, from the time she's hit the scene, she just seems to me to be in need of an exorcism. You look at her and you're like, this is an
this is actually a genius concept. Obviously, exorcism is nonsense, right? The idea that you would identify someone as whose characteristic is that they are in need of such an exorcism, which is nonsense, is endlessly fascinating.
Unhappy individual. Trump once called her an unhappy child. Well, she's no longer a child anymore. I think she's almost 20 or 20 years old. If she still looks like a child and she's still got some weird spiritual weirdness about her. I can't explain it. There's just something about...
Isn't Greta Thunberg just autistic? Like, that's all that it is? It's dark. There's a very dark energy, and you need an exorcism, and it's all very, very, very strange. I thought Greta Thunberg was just autistic and, you know, had some social kind of, you know, struggles or something like that. I don't know.
About her, that if I'm around her, I just think this is the orphan. If you've seen that movie, she reminds me of the orphan. And I don't want to be near her. When I see her, I think I would not go near.
Does Owens regularly have an opportunity to go near her?
That person, because there is a darkness over her. But let's set my personal feelings aside. What is going
right? These aren't her she's going to put aside her personal feelings, guys.
Viral is the fact that she has been caught staging her arrest, and
that's been debunked.
I mean, there is no other way to describe this other than these are hired actors. She is a hired actress. She's been a hired actress for a very long time. And she is staging herself, pretending that she is being arrested in Germany because...
It's shocking to me anyone even pays attention to Greta Thunberg to this degree. Like, you know, Greta Thunberg has had some viral moments and whatever. Like, I don't find her super interesting. I don't really care one way or the other. But it's just like, why are you so obsessed with Greta Thunberg? What? I mean, just if you find her whatever, just don't pay attention.
Because she was protesting the expansion of a coal mine. Now, why were they expanding that coal mine? Because obviously Germany and Europe is facing an energy crisis at this moment. And they've been facing an energy crisis for a while. Man. And so they were expanding a coal mine so that elders wouldn't freeze throughout the winter, so citizens wouldn't freeze. But forget it.
Owens is doing that thing where every statement is like said like a question.
You know, the climate activists don't care about human beings. It's quite the opposite. They hate humanity, right? They want everything to survive but human beings. And so she staged herself protesting. It didn't actually protest it. And here is...
How do people watch this crap? Seriously, you know, one of the things we're doing today is I have this backlog. Everything's very packed in of different clips and things people have sent and my colleague John sent, you know, so that we could take a look at it. I don't know how people get through this stuff. I don't even have time to watch the things I like. I don't have the time to read the books I like. And people watch this stuff. It's crazy. Newsmax guest urges viewers to call 911 if they see a trans person. Patriot Barbie host Lindsey Graham. Oh my God. Let's look at that in a moment. Let me just read this super chat from Jabroni. Jabroni says, wanted to support and to let you know, unlike all other channels I watch, yours doesn't have the red highlight that it is live and won't bring you here. Yeah, something is very, very screwy with what's happening on YouTube. I'm going to get to that a little bit later. We're going to get to that momentarily. Thanks to Chris Weissmiller, Brad Smith, and Eric Snyder for signing up on my website, putting us at 118 for the day. All right, let's continue, okay? Here's an idea about trans from Newsmax.
And Lindsay, I want to show something that you posted. It's a video. Let's take a listen.
He agrees himself that he's a man. I have told the police that I was in the locker room. A man was in there. I was getting undressed. He looked at me. He is a man in the women's locker room. And the response is that this is a touchy, sensitive issue in society.
Wow. So you see a man in the women's locker room at your gym. Police refused to act because it was, as you said, a touchy subject. What can we do about this? Because that just seems ridiculous. You're not saying it was a man who was dressed as a woman who may have been trans. It was just...
It was not a man who was dressed as a woman.
A dude in the locker room.
It's a dude. I mean... Legitimately, it's a dude. He dresses like a woman. He calls himself a woman. He demands that the children at his elementary school call him either Paul or Miss Bixler. But humans are smart. Children are smart. This is a man. There's no doubt about it. Unfortunately, what he did is he went to his local DMV. He had his driver's license changed.
She's like, I checked his prostate. It was definitely a dude.
To say female. And that is what tied the hands of the police in Goodyear, Arizona. I encourage all women across the United States, across America, across the world, if you see a biological man, if you see a man in a private, secure space that belongs to...
By the way, just recently at the gym, I saw a woman very, very similar to this woman. Wearing a Ron DeSantis 2024 tank top. So those exist, interestingly.
Women, you call 911, you call the police. You do not go to the front desk. You do not ask a minimum wage employee to help you take care of what is a very, very scary situation. You call the police.
Yeah.
And even if they're...
It was super scary. Man, so I've said before, this is the obsession right now. For a while, you know, they were never really obsessed with lesbians. Like when I interviewed this homophobe Brian Fisher a long time ago, he would talk about lesbians and he would be like, oh, lesbians have higher, you know, this or that. I don't know. But lesbians were like the most acceptable all along, but they were focused on gay men for a very long time. You know, gay men are pedophiles was a thing that would go on, and based on evolution, gay men shouldn't exist. For a while, it was gay men that they were obsessed with. I don't want to falsely say that the anti-LGBT right is now fine with gay men, but they've kind of moved on from gay men, where now the obsession is really trans people and mostly trans women, right? Trans men, they seem to care about a lot less. I don't know if people in the chat agree on that, but it seems really trans women is the obsession with, you know, the weightlifting stories and all of that sort of thing. So I'm sure it'll all circle back as they experience victories and losses in this fight. I'm sure it'll all circle back. But this is the obsession right now. And drag queens. Very good point. Yeah, Beth in the chat saying they're also obsessed with drag queens right now. Like George Anthony Kitara DeVolder Santos. That's not a joke. Okay. There is a person whose real name at this point, I couldn't tell you what it is, who performed, is that the right word? I mean, we'll talk about it tomorrow on the show, performed under the name Kitara as a drag queen, is now an elected member of Congress. And some of you might know him as George Santos. Some of you might know him as Anthony DeVolder. Some of you might know him as, a pioneer in the field of cardiothoracic surgery. I don't know him that way, but maybe some of you know him that way. He's an importer, exporter, architect, marine biologist of sorts. Anyway, we'll talk more about that tomorrow in complete seriousness. Thanks to Jason Sickmeyer and Ann Cloward for signing up at joinpacman.com. Members 119 and 120. I will be opening phone lines momentarily, but I do have a bunch of other stuff to look at. Here is Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor, explaining why they have canceled an African-American history course. I think you will find this very interesting.
What's one of the lessons about? Queer theory. Now, who would say that an important part of Black history is queer theory? That is somebody pushing an agenda on our kids. And so when you look to see they have...
The class is an elective class that is being pushed on the 12 kids that will choose to take it, but it's still being pushed. You've got to cancel it.
Stuff about intersectionality, abolishing prisons, that's a political agenda. And so that's the wrong side of the line for Florida standards. So that's been canceled. And tomorrow on the show, I will talk to you about how education is going in Florida. It's not going particularly well. Congressman Jim Banks is supporting efforts to prevent women from leaving Indiana to find an abortion. Listen to this.
Our work as a pro-life movement is far from over. If a young lady can hop in a car in Fort Wayne and in an hour and a half, she can be in a place in Michigan, or in just under 3 hours, she could cross the line into Illinois and achieve what she was able to do with abortion clinics here in Indiana. The fight is far from over.
Right.
That's exactly right. And I'm for federal legislation. I'm for stronger laws at the state levels, whatever.
Ban people from switching states. We believe in free travel between states, and we believe in federal supremacy in the Constitution, and block people from changing states to avail themselves of medical services. Wow. Small government conservatism.
What we can do to save lives, to protect babies. That's what this fight is all about.
Yep. These people are sick. These people are absolutely and completely sick. I don't know how many of you have been following what's going on with Steven Crowder. Apparently, Steven was offered some kind of 4-year, $50 million contract by the Daily Wire. It would give him, if I recall correctly, 4 weeks off a year and Fridays off. But I guess he was upset that it didn't include like paid sick time or something like that. Let's see what he's up to.
Big tech is in bed with Big Con. The people I thought were fighting for you, a lot of it has been a big con. Now, I'm specifically avoiding naming names or going after individuals in this video.
Right.
Because I genuinely hope that those I'm addressing, and you know who you are, have a change of heart. Don't sign these contracts. I now know what you are signing out there. I have the luxury of not having to. Let me go through this. If any of the major platforms issues a content strike such that Crowder cannot be monetized on such platform, the fee will be reduced by 25%. And then another 20%.
It would only be, you will only have a $37.5 million contract if you get a copyright strike and we can't monetize any of your content. Do you guys see how the capitalists have this poor worker over a barrel? They will take away $12.5 million over 4 years if he gets a copyright strike.
20% of it happens on Apple. And then another 10% of it happens on Facebook. And then another 10% of it happens on Spotify.
What a wage slave. He needs a little marks.
And then if you get a strike, meaning a suspension, another 20%. Just to drive it home. You get hit by a car, you have a sick day, you could lose $100,000 a day. This is what's...
Listen, guys, do you realize that if I'm out for a week with COVID, that's 5 working days, that's $500,000. It immediately reduces my contract's value from $50 million to $49.5 million. Wow. Absolutely sickening, huh? Totally incredible stuff. Okay, so now people have been weighing in about the Crowder stuff. So like, here's Candace Owens. She is going after Crowder, and it seems that they're now starting to gang up on Crowder.
At the end of the day, I think what happened, this is completely my opinion, by the way, so I'm not blinking twice, I'm not under duress, is that Steven Crowder became a free agent, and he's feeling a little vulnerable right now, right? He's used to working for other organizations. He has some guaranteed pay, and he thought that Daily Wire were actually going to meet him at $120 million. They didn't, they declined. And he's still feeling a little shaky on that. It's scary.
He's really shaken up, guys. You know, hold on, is she saying it's scary to only get $50
million? They didn't, they declined. And he's still feeling a little shaky on that. It's scary to go out on your own. I thought about it. I thought about going out on my own. It's a lot of work. Maybe down the line I will, but it's a scary thing.
Yeah. You know what's scary? This right here. Okay, guys, this is what we're going to talk about later. This is scary. Having to accept 50 million instead of 120, that's not scary. Okay, that's not scary. This is scary. Okay, when you see this. And we'll talk about that. Man, these people, what planet do these people live on?
To go out, to step out on your own and say, I'm going to do this thing completely by myself. As Jeremy pointed out, Steven's not done that before, right? And so to do this, he pulled a move in which he was going to try to take a bunch of people that were subscribed to the Daily Wire and start his own company. So essentially say, I'm the hero, I'm the martyr, follow me because I'm not like those guys. And then he was going to start his own shop. And that's what he's trying to do. And some people fell for it and said, I'm with you to the end. I'm Mug Club till I die. And didn't understand that really nothing happened here other than nobody wanted to pay Steven Crowder $120 million.
Yeah.
So he turned to his viewers who he thinks are stupid enough at least not to understand how business negotiations work, right? Like this is like normal. You kick it back and forth. And they were going to make up for his loss. So people that are upset by his video, the millions of people who watched it are
you guys following this? All right, that's enough. I can't even deal with it. Here's another Candace Owens clip. Says she has certain information about Steven Crowder. Now this I'm more interested in.
Over the weekend, I was given a lot more information regarding Steven Crowder, a lot more background information regarding what could have possibly led to this moment.
Yeah.
And not to my surprise at all, obviously, this really doesn't have anything to do with the Daily Wire. And his actions are a symptom of something much larger. And I want to choose my
They're
words
a symptom of munch. That's shocking.
very carefully here because I'm not angry anymore. Steven has a lot going on. I guess is the best way to say it. He has a lot going on, and that should be clear because people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going on in their lives. You don't sell out your friend. You don't record conversations. These things are actions of individuals.
Profound life advice from Candace Owens.
Individuals that are perhaps acting out of desperation. You have to dig deeper. You have to look deeper to fully understand the picture of why somebody might do that. And it's certainly not because somebody is upset with a $50 million contract. And because I now am more aware of certain information, rather than being angry, I would like to implore my audience and everybody that isn't paying attention to this situation not to condemn him, but to pray for him.
Right.
Sometimes
he needs prayer and an exorcism.
People need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture. You know, Steven purports to be a Christian, and I believe that he needs to lean into his faith. And I am certain that in the near future, more information will come out. I do not think it is my place to say more than that. Well, probably what I should say is I am unsure at this moment if it is my place to say more than that.
It's not.
You know, maybe if I feel in further defense, something should be said, or maybe if I feel that the public has a right to...
How ominous, guys. How ominous.
...understand certain circumstances. But at this moment, I think I would just like to carefully back out.
There you go. So Candace Owens is opting out. She's backing out of the entire thing. Of what? We don't know. Crowder really wanted 120 million, and it's scary. It's scary. He might have to he might have to work 4 years for only $1 million a month. And when you're going out on your own, that's scary. That's very, very scary. Guys, we're going to open phones on Discord momentarily. Bay Photo says Hassan is absolutely right. Daily Wire revenue doesn't add up to be able to offer these large contracts to people like Crowder, not without capital injections from right-wing billionaires. Oh, 100%. 100%. I didn't even think that was a question. Of course, Daily Wire isn't going to generate 50 million in revenue from there. That's being subsidized by billionaire right wingers. It's not even a question. Not even a question. All right. Before we open the phone lines, you guys want to know what's going on? Listen to this thing that's going on. I'm going to tell you this story as I told it in a YouTube clip, and then I already have more information. Okay. January 9th, we noticed, hey, we're not getting any views. Like, it's 4:00. We're publishing our clips. We're doing all the stuff we normally do. We are getting no views. Like, it's blank. It's blanked out. What the hell is going on here? This didn't only happen to us. Okay. Happened to some other channels. I was hearing from other people. And we all contacted YouTube, and YouTube said, this is a glitch. You're getting all the views you normally get. Trust me. You're getting all the views you normally get. It's a reporting glitch, and we're going to figure it out. Okay? You didn't really get no views during that time. All right, fine. The next day, we get some views, but I can tell, and many of my colleagues, you know them. I'm not gonna call them out. It's up to them to tell you who they are. We notice we're getting views, but it's like almost none. This is very weird. And as many of you know, we have 1.6 million subscribers. We have, videos that do well, which get 1 million views, and we have videos that do okay, which get 250,000 views. And there's some like bottom limit when you have 1.6 million subscribers, and like none of our clips would typically get below 15,000 views, 10,000 views. Okay, whatever. But days and days and then weeks go by, and we're just not getting any views. We had a day, January 15th, where we lost 3 subscribers net. It's been years and years and years and years. We gain subscribers, right? We gain hundreds, if not thousands of subscribers typically. And there's this period where we're basically flat. What the hell is going on? And then we see videos that are getting under 2,000 views in the first 90 to 120 minutes. Look at this. First hour and 35 minutes, 1.4 thousand views. What? 2 hours and 20 minutes. Oh, sorry. This one you can't see. There it is. 2,000 views. Something is very, very, very clearly wrong. Now, if I were conspiratorial, I would say the man or some person has flipped a switch and is deliberately trying to hurt my channel because I'm on the left or something. I'm not saying that. I don't have evidence of that. Okay. But what I do know is that after this glitch on January 9th, the channel has been dead. Down 70% in views, down 70% in revenue, down 70% in subscribers. What happened? We don't know. Okay. What's my next thing? We're not there yet. Okay. So I started hearing from many of you who said to me, hold on, let me see if I can get the right image here. Here it is. Who said to me stuff like this, okay? This is all based on anecdotes, but I believe it applies to your YouTube issues, says Tom. I exclusively scroll through recently uploaded, but other categories are similarly populated by an algorithm. I noticed a month or two ago, I stopped seeing your videos recommended. I had to manually search for your channel to find it. This also happened to other favorite creators. All of those and your channel have one thing in common. I started to ignore your videos on YouTube because I watched them elsewhere. Since then, I noticed that whenever I click on the recently uploaded section has a massive impact on what is recommended in the future. I believe that what happened is the following. This glitch on January 9th was a recalibration of the algorithm. And I'm going to support that in a moment. Okay. That recalibration created some intermediate period during which my videos were briefly not recommended. The fact that then our click-through rate diminished signaled to YouTube, no one wants to see this guy's videos, don't recommend them anymore. Okay. Now, I now have reason to believe this goes beyond just YouTube. I have started to get emails from people who work in SEO. Okay. Now we're talking about Google search. And they told me, David, it's not just YouTube. January 9th, half my clients stopped getting traffic to their website from Google search. This is a bigger realignment, and it is screwing some people. I am not alleging anyone said, let's screw David Pakman. I am not alleging anybody said, let's screw left-wing YouTube. But I believe that some people have been absolutely crushed by this. Okay. Now, I have heard even during the stream, David, you went live. I didn't see your live stream. YouTube is supposed to prioritize live. I went to my subscriptions. Nothing. You're not in there. Okay. However, I have some really great people to thank. Where the hell is my stuff? I don't even know where is anything. All of my images are gone. Hold on. Where the hell is this? Dear God. Here it is. Okay. Go over here. This is what I believe we need to do. I think in order to test whether this is nefarious or whether this is simply the result of, let's call it an accident, we need to retrain the YouTube algorithm, okay? So I am asking you with peace and love, with my two most recent videos, okay? That's the clip about what's going on and this clip about Trump's eulogy of Diamond. With these two clips, okay? Go to these clips, like these clips, comment on these clips, make damn sure that you are subscribed, okay? Let's retrain the algorithm. I believe if a few thousand people do this, we may fix the problem. Okay? So make 100% sure you are subscribed. Super easy. Make sure you have hit the bell and you said you want to be notified about my videos. Make sure that you have hit the like button. Okay? Let's see if we can fix this. Now, I do have some exciting news. This is today. Okay, this is thanks to you already starting to do this. And see, I wasn't lying when I said it's typical that we get 100,000 views an hour at this time of day. It has been dead for the last 48 hours. But thanks to some of you, we are starting to see the numbers slightly recover. Will this fix the problem? I don't have a clue in hell. I genuinely don't have a clue in hell. Okay, but this is all we've got because it's quite literally killing our YouTube channel. Now, if you're watching on Twitch, wherever, just do what you can, okay? Thankfully, we are, 1,000 subscriptions just dumped in. It's looking like we are maybe starting to fix this. It is insane we have to do this. It is insane that we have to do this. Now, in all seriousness, we're about to launch the Spanish channel. It's thousands of dollars a month to get our content dubbed into Spanish. We were using the YouTube revenue to do that. The YouTube revenue is now down 70%. So if you're willing to sign up at joinpakman.com, I would really, 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 really appreciate it. And I want to thank people who have already done that. I want to say thanks to Justin Howe, as well as Larry Trott, Edgar Bowen, and Luke Broderick, all of whom just got subscriptions on my website. Dump in a Twitch subscription like Captain Planet just did, whatever, okay? This is where we are. I don't have any other ideas. I'm not alleging conspiracy. I'm not alleging anybody who is saying, let's target Pakman. I'm just saying it's what it is, okay? So what I'm asking is find our two most recent videos. YouTube nuked my YouTube channel. That's one. Trump visibly confused and complaining that Diamond's funeral is too long. Number two. If we can do that, I think we might be able to retrain. More than 2 weeks. Failed former President Donald. Dear God. We might be able to retrain the algorithm. 4,500 comments already here and 23,000 likes. Those are big numbers, folks. Okay. The Trump video. Okay. Not doing quite as well, but still 5,000 likes. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. I can think of nothing else to fix this problem. Let's open the phones. Okay. We are going to open the phones. I promise we would do it. We do this via Discord at davidpakman.com/Discord. This is the, oh yeah, people are saying this is the problem with big tech. There's no transparency. That's exactly right. I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to deal with an algorithm that has gotten completely haywire. Let's hear from people because I promised that I would if we get to 100 new members today, and we did. Okay. You go to davidpakman.com/Discord. You join the waiting lobby. Let's see. Start the stage. Live stream calls, we're going to call it. Start stage. And okay, let's hear from some of you. I promised I would do this, so let's absolutely do it right now. Before I jump into that, we've got a super chat. Sir, it appears the algorithm missed you and is happy to see you live again. Thank you, Bay Photo. Appreciate that. Very, very important stuff. Okay, let's just jump right in and talk to some people here. All right, let's start with, I don't know. How about Jerry from Detroit? Jerry from Detroit, let's hope we have no tech issues today. It's great to be here. It's great to be live. What is going on with you, sir?
Sir, thank you for choosing me. I appreciate it. Can you hear me okay?
My pleasure. I can hear you beautifully.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, cool. So I just have a very simple question for you.
Yes.
Lately, I've been seeing a lot of leftist news commentators in the space get into video gaming here and there. A good example that I can think of is Hassan Abi becoming majorly addicted to Valorant.
To what is it? To Valentine's?
Valorant.
Oh my God. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's one of those video games that you shoot people in. But,
Okay.
you know, there's plenty of other kinds of video games out there.
Yeah, of course.
Do you plan on getting into a video game at some point?
You know, I really don't, particularly with a baby now. It's hard enough even to stream. So the idea that now I'm going to get big into video games, it's not feeling super likely.
That's totally fair. I appreciate your time, though, David.
If I did, is there a particular game I should get into?
Oh, man. You know what? There's all kinds of them out there. But
Yeah.
I've lately been into this one called RimWorld. Very, very fun.
All right. Well, we will look into it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. There is Jerry from Detroit weighing in. Let's go next to George from Virginia. George, welcome to the stream. It's a pleasure to host you today.
Hey, David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. So I wanted to quickly discuss your issues with the algorithm.
Please.
So I don't know if you remember, but you remember you were doing like a survey to see who would want to learn how to build a YouTube channel?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, so I actually signed up for it, but I didn't hear anything back. But anyways, I had a YouTube channel, not the one I'm logged in now, but it was a channel I made for gaming like a year ago.
Yes.
And I was growing pretty fast. And then I started making videos criticizing Google for their Stadia product.
Yeah.
That they did shut down last year because I actually predicted it in one of my videos. Anyways, after I started doing that, I started getting no views, and I was actually growing pretty fast, and then it all went to a halt.
How many views were your videos getting?
So I was very small, but I was getting up to 20,000 views on my best videos, which
Yeah.
is actually pretty good for like a no-name
No, that is.
YouTuber.
And how many subscribers did you get up to?
I got up to almost, I think 398, but it was like in the first year, which is like super slow growth.
Yeah.
But once I started criticizing Google,
Yep.
it just immediately went off a cliff.
Well, George,
And-
it is anecdotal, but it is interesting to hear, and I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Okay, thank you.
All right, pleasure. There is George. Let's go next to Cody from Hamilton. Cody from Hamilton, welcome to the live stream. What is on your mind?
Hey, David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, I was just curious. I heard some recent European news. Turkey sounds like it might be blocking Sweden's ascension to NATO, not Finland, just Sweden, from what I've heard. And I was curious if you have any thoughts on either of the two, or even, I guess, Ukraine and our relationship with these countries in NATO.
Well, I mean, I have general thoughts. I have to admit, I have not followed that particular element closely, so I wouldn't be able to weigh in on the Turkey, Sweden situation. But, you know, generally my view is I believe that it is fair to say that it could be that the expansion of NATO could theoretically be interpreted as aggression, right? This was a story that was big in the start of the Ukraine-Russia fiasco. But at the same time, it is, of course, within a country's right to want to join and to be evaluated and considered, and repercussions to countries for joining seem completely unacceptable. Now, diplomatically, a country could say, you know, we are starting to feel as though we are being ganged up on because of the members that are joining it. I'm totally fine with that. That's a geopolitical discussion. But for the purposes of justifying military action, I am not at all convinced that NATO membership would even remotely be a justifiable explanation for military action.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, just curious. Thanks for taking my question.
All right, Cody from Hamilton. Appreciate hearing from you. Let's go to Rusty in Tucson, Arizona. Now, you might not think Tucson is a place that I've spent much time in or that I like, but I've spent much time in Tucson and I like it very much. Rusty, you've been invited to speak. I'm waiting for you to accept. Once you do, you will be on. Welcome, Rusty.
Thank you. I had to put my job aside for a moment to do
no
this.
Problem. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in Tucson. I have friends there. I have had a great time. I don't love sort of like how spread out it is. Like no matter where you go, it's 10 to 12 miles away, you know, which in the Northeast is like you're in a different county if you go 10 to 12 miles. But an okay food scene and great hiking. And I have enjoyed my time in Tucson very much.
Yeah, recreational weed makes it a little more tolerable. If you're ever back, the tacos are on me.
I like that. I had great tacos while there.
All right. So this is a conversation that's kind of come up in your Discord quite often, and I want to get your opinion on it.
Please.
Now, what can even be reasonably done about the gun violence situation in America at this point?
Well, when you say what can be done, do you mean what ideas are there for changes that could be made, or politically what is actually possible?
Honestly, I'd say it's a bit of both. I mean, after the recent gigantic shooting, I thought the gun control bill that Congress passed was completely toothless.
Right.
I was shocked that the semi-auto age wasn't raised to 21. And I say that as someone that owns many semi-autos.
Yeah.
But,
well, listen, here's the thing. In terms of what can be done, I've outlined 10 to 12 different things. Limiting magazine capacity, requiring, eliminating every loophole on background checks, requiring additional screening for anyone under 25, including community letters of support from adults who can meaningfully speak to, this is a person I'm completely comfortable with having firearms, a mandatory waiting period, restricting certain firearms to people under 25, from people under 25. You know, it's a very long list. And of course, the gun nuts will always say, no one of those things would prevent every shooting, to which, of course, I would say, well, but they would prevent some, and that's progress. So there's a very, very long list. In terms of what's politically feasible, I couldn't tell you. Maybe nothing, you know?
I mean, it's just, I just don't even know at this point what this Congress could even do, even next session or session away from now, because the country's become so polarized and, you know, hateful.
I agree.
Well, I'll go ahead and let you go. I appreciate your time. I think the ATF just turned me into a felon, so I got to go buy a longer AR-15 barrel. Keep it high and tight. I'll talk to you later.
All right, there you go. Rusty is high and tight in Tucson. Very, very exciting to hear from about that. Let's go next to Ariel, also in Arizona. Ariel, welcome to the program. What is on your mind today?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I still can.
Oh, hold on. I'm trying to figure out how I can turn.
Everything seems fine. Okay, and Ariel is gone. Ariel is gone. All right. Wow, a lot is happening here. Let's go to Cardi from Los Angeles. Cardi, welcome to the program. What's going on? Cardi, welcome to the program. What are you up to? And last opportunity for Cardi to join, bringing the stream to a grinding halt. All right, well, no Cardi. Let's go to Gustavo from Newton. Gustavo, welcome to the program. Gustavo, you've been invited, but you have to accept, please.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well.
Great. I had a quick question about Spanish dub of the show.
You know, it's very interesting. You're cutting in and out, and it's very unusual.
Okay, hold on.
Now, that was fine, though. That was fine.
Okay, fine now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, excellent.
Oh, God. Now you're cutting in and out.
My
again.
dad would really, absolutely. My dad speaks predominantly, so, a show like that would really help. I just had a quick question. Are you planning on making it the voiceover dub, person the dubbing, in Argentine Spanish?
You know, we were not able, we're working with a dubbing company that is based in Argentina, but they...
Okay, perfect.
But hold on. I don't know that you're going to like the answer, because they tend to work with people who speak more neutral Spanish for it to be more accessible to all of Latin America. So the dubbing will say, I thought it would be interesting, since I'm Argentinian, for the dubbing into the Spanish channel to be done with an Argentinian accent, but it's not going to be, Gustavo. It's not going to be.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I just was wondering because somebody in the chat was saying, well, David, don't you speak Spanish? So why don't you do it?
I'm
But
too
I
busy. I
understand
just
that-
have too much going on to do the
Exactly,
yeah, exactly.
No, so that was my question. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I'm going to let you go, Gustavo, just because the connection is very, very illegal. Danny says via Super Chat, longtime supporter here, excited for the Spanish dub of your channel and the impact it'll have con la comunidad habla hispana in the U.S. and abroad. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to say thanks to Jason Sickmeyer, Blake Daniel, Ryan Phipps, Ben Colayen, and Brendan Fletcher for signing up on my website, putting us at 130 new members for the day. Also, thanks to Watergirl and Hoppy for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. We are speaking to people via Discord. Why? Because I said I would, and I stick to my word. Let's go next to, I don't know. How about Jesse from Melbourne? Jesse from Melbourne, Australia, welcome. What is it, like 8 a.m. there on Tuesday?
It's about 11 a.m. now.
11 a.m. Wait, so you're 16 hours ahead? Is that even possible?
Apparently so.
Wow, it seems like it shouldn't be possible, but okay, I believe you, Jesse.
The future is cool.
Yeah.
My question. So in Australia last May we had an election, and before the election, the centre right wing government was very corrupt, and so we voted them out pretty heavily.
Okay.
But we had calls for a national anti-corruption commission,
Yes.
which we have in each state. And at the election, the centre-left Labor campaigned on it, and they got into government, and it's been legislated. They're going to implement it in a few months now. What I wanted to ask was, what are the chances of that happening in the US, and what impact do you think it would have on the state of the country?
Extremely low. I hate to tell you, it's extremely low. I mean, listen, the House Republicans just took control of the House, and they weakened ethics rules for themselves. You know, there is not an appetite for this in much of the United States.
Yeah, it's sad to hear, but
It's extremely sad.
What did happen in Australia, though, was each state and territory set up their own version of this beforehand. Do you
Mhm.
think it's likely that any states, particularly the blue states, will look at doing that in the future as well?
Maybe. I mean, the thing is, it'll just end up being like everything else. The blue states that don't need to do it will be the only ones that do it.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a bummer, I have to say.
Yeah, well, let's just hope it works out here first. That way, hopefully, it'll influence other countries to start adopting the same thing, and hopefully lower corruption altogether.
You know, I have never been to Australia or New Zealand, but I would really love to visit. I think it would be an extraordinary experience.
Yeah, it's a beautiful country, lovely people here as well.
What's the deal
Looking
with the
forward to
cuisine there?
We have like a lot of different cuisines, so we eat a lot of foreign food. There's not like too big of an Australian cuisine only. We do
Right.
eat kangaroos. But yeah, there's pretty good restaurants around. Where I live in Melbourne, we're well known for our worldwide restaurants. So if you come down here, it's a great place to be for just the vibe in the city.
Can you get a good bagel in Melbourne?
I think so. I haven't really thought about that. I'm not too into bagels, but I assume you can.
All right. Well, I would be interested in finding out. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
All right, Jesse. Thank you very much for the call.
Thank you.
All right. There goes Jesse from Melbourne, Australia. Not super confident on the bagel stuff. Oh, look, we actually might roll over to a full 1.6 million subscribers during this stream. That is interesting. I like that. Okay. Austin says, David, sir, my super chat supports you and Google. What do I do? Not think about it too much, Austin, is what I would do. I wouldn't devote too much time to it. Let's go to Grill from Worcester, Massachusetts. Grill from the 508. Welcome to the program. What is on your mind today? You've got to unmute yourself, Grill, and then I'll be able to hear you.
Oh, hi. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Grill. Well, what kind of a name is Grill?
What was that?
What sort of name is Grill? Is that a nickname or is that short for something?
It's an alias.
Oh, it's an alias. Okay, fair.
I'll be honest.
Well, what is on your mind today, Grill?
Okay, what's on my mind is you're from Massachusetts, right?
Well, I'm from Argentina. I went to school in Massachusetts. Yes. So I grew up in Massachusetts. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm from Massachusetts too, and I've spent a lot of time. Well, for some reason, I'm under the impression that you're from Western Mass. Is that right?
I grew up in Western Mass. That's right.
So was it Northampton?
Yep.
Okay, so I want to know what your favorite restaurant there was.
You know, the thing about Northampton restaurants is a lot of them never lasted that long. So, you know, it's like places went in and out. The restaurant scene was always extraordinarily unpredictable, let's say. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, growing up, there was this Mexican place, Cha Cha Cha, which I really liked. And then there was a place called Molino's Italian, which eventually I think became Carmelina's. I'm not even sure the evolution. Like I loved going to Molino's when I was a kid. You know, for seafood, I would go to Paul and Elizabeth's. It's just so hard to say.
That is true. I mean, they do change a lot. But
Yeah.
I know that going really basic, there's been a pizza place there for a while. I think it's Mimo's.
I
Have you
just
been
saw
there?
some friends from home post that Mimo's is gone. Although honestly, I don't even know that it's been called Mimo's for a while. I genuinely am unsure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they had giant slices of pizza there, but I guess it was not that special.
Yeah, I think that place went through some name changes even. It's kind of depressing.
Yep, sounds it.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I wanted to do is connect with you on being, living in Massachusetts.
Well, you know, you are from Sam Cedar's home.
Who's that?
Oh boy. All right, Grill, I'm going to let you go, okay? Thank you for the call.
You're welcome. Bye.
Okay, boy, guy, I got to get away from that. Please do not send that to Sam, okay? Do not send that to Sam. Or maybe do, and maybe he'll respond to that tomorrow on his program. Jeez, that was a sad moment. Let's go to Jack from Ocean Shore. Jack from Ocean Shore, please welcome to the program. What's going on?
Oh, thank you for taking my call, David.
Pleasure.
Sorry, you called on me right as I was eating a chip. Hang on.
Okay, just a single chip? That's suspicious.
I just finished my cup of hummus.
You drank hummus?
No. Prepackaged cups of hummus.
Oh my God. Okay.
So anyway.
Yeah.
I was wanting to see if you had heard Washington State here were hopefully going to have some sort of vote on universal health coverage for the state, for everybody in the state.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I was just looking and I haven't seen any new updates. But I know that we were actively trying to get signatures for this legislative session. So I guess it might be still a little early.
So it's not even on the ballot. Right now, they're gathering signatures to make it a ballot initiative. Is that right?
I believe so. For this, if my memory is correct, it's for this year. But I just got over COVID, so memory's not exactly the best. Anyway.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, listen, it sounds interesting. I know nothing about it, but I will look into it.
Great. And I was thinking about you when I had brunch the other day.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Just that, you know, this is a good brunch place, and if I ever could ever talk to Dave,
have
would
I
tell him.
become so associated with brunch that when people have brunch, they think of me? I don't know that that's the imagery that I'm going for necessarily.
Well, as an audience member, and I spend a lot of time online.
Yep.
It's almost like a pseudo relationship. It's not a real relationship, but you know, I think of people like that. Anyway, it's something that I do.
Jack, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
There is Jack from Ocean Shores. Very, very powerful stuff. Let's go to Joseph from Virginia. Joseph, welcome to the program. What's on your mind today? Joseph from Virginia, welcome to the program. All right. Let's try River from India. River from India, welcome to the program. River, you're on. You just have to select the correct audio device and everyone will be able to hear you.
Okay, am I on now?
You're on right now, yeah.
Awesome. How are you doing, David?
I'm doing well.
Okay, I'm curious in your thoughts on ChatGPT and Google's change in ethical stance to releasing their GPTs faster or attempting to release the GPTs faster in order to get ahead of the market competition.
River, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. The captivity of ChatGPT?
No. I'm sorry. My mic may be. Okay. I said, I'm curious in your thoughts on ChatGPT and Google's change in ethical stance to release their own machine learning products faster in order to get ahead of the market competition.
You know, I don't know what Google is doing yet. I have a handful of articles bookmarked about this exact issue, and I would be reading them right now were it not for this stream. I want to look into that. I don't know what Google is doing, but I'm very interested in the fact that Google has started to act very quickly. And you know what is interesting? I have started to use ChatGPT for certain searches. And I realized as I was doing it, you know, this is the type of thing I used to go to Google for, but ChatGPT will write me a summary. And I then realized, is this a threat to Google? Now, there are people who say ChatGPT is not a threat to Google search. I think it remains to be seen.
I will note. I mean, obviously, you're smarter than me, but
well, I don't know that.
I will. I will ask you to be careful of the information produced via ChatGPT. It often just lies with confidence.
Right.
Yeah. And makes up research names and articles. And then when you point it out, it just says sorry and then makes up more information. So, yeah. I'm curious. Have you ever tried Indian food? What are your thoughts on Indian food?
Have I ever tried Indian food? Of course. I've been eating Indian food for decades.
Anything in particular you like significantly?
I'm a big tandoori guy. I like the tandoori dishes. You know, honestly, part of the tough thing about talking to you about this is I don't know how many of these are just American dishes that don't actually exist in India, but there's a chicken eggplant dish that I love. Like, is that a thing? Chicken aubergine?
Yes. That's probably from Calcutta.
Okay.
We call it bajha.
Okay.
You probably wouldn't be able to pronounce that. Yeah.
Bajha?
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, nice talking to you. Nice
you know, one of my favorite Indian experiences was actually in London. There's an Indian breakfast spot called Dishoom, and they have great non-egg breakfast sort of like wraps, and it's absolutely fantastic, River.
Oh, that generally sounds lovely. I've heard a lot about British Indian food from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds lovely.
Hey, last
I'm gonna jump
question.
back there.
The
Oh, sorry.
street food, there are these stereotypes that if you have street food in a place like Mumbai, where you are, that it is
Yeah.
extremely likely that you're going to end up sick. Is that the case? Is that the case for locals? Is it only for tourists who aren't used to something, or is that not really true?
So it is true, and you're probably going to end up sick. You're probably even going to end up sick in or like within the toilet for like low-end restaurants. Upper end restaurants or middle restaurants cook. It depends on the restaurant. It depends on the kind of street food and where you're getting the street food from.
Yeah.
So obviously like, there's no general stance, but I have heard. Okay, so there is this thing which, as much as I hate to say this and like, admit to this, not every Indian person can actually tolerate spicy food, but a lot of people just eat the food anyway because it tastes so good and go to the toilet because to them it's worth it.
I'm not talking about spicy though. I'm talking from, well, anyway, okay, that's fair. I think I understand where you're going, but wow, it sounds like quite a situation. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I've never had an experience for ending up sick from eating street food from like any sort of health related issues. So if you're attaining to health related issues,
Yeah.
like not coming from spice, I've never had that experience.
And
So
do you as a local, do you drink tap water? Is it treated, or do you drink bottled water?
I do not drink tap water. Tap water is treated, and Delhi and Mumbai are the only places where tap water is supposed to be safe enough to drink.
Yeah.
But I would not recommend drinking tap water.
Really?
I would not recommend drinking tap water. I have an aquaguard I have a water filtration system at home.
Yeah.
And I think most Indian households have water filtration systems at home. Is that similar? Wait, I'm sorry. Okay, God. Oh, you're from Argentina, right? Is that similar in Argentina, or
You know,
how
in
does-
Argentina, here's the thing about Argentina. Argentina has parts of the country that are completely like developing parts of the world with no running water, period. Okay. But when I go to Buenos Aires, everybody drinks the tap water. It's completely fine.
Oh,
Yeah. It varies greatly within the country.
okay. That's quite fascinating, actually.
Yeah. Now there's
Um,
a guy named Andrew Tate who says it's very lowbrow to drink tap water.
yeah, he also buys Lamborghinis and gets arrested for human trafficking. So I don't really trust that guy much. But yeah.
You know what? I think you're probably right. You're probably smart not to. Yeah. I think that's a smart move. River, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely, same. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. There is
I'm good.
River from Mumbai, India. I want to go out on top like George Costanza. So we are going to wrap it at that point in time. I so appreciate everyone I was able to speak to. Let's power through. Let's fix the algorithm. Let's see how things are going here on some of these videos. A lot is happening, and we've got likes, and we've got a lot of different things going on. Okay, thanks to everybody who's helping us fix the algorithm. We're back. We're doing it. We're doing everything, and I will see everybody again so soon.